Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled deep among towering mountains and wide-spreading green meadows, lived a young boy named Thomas. People adored him for his sparkling eyes and infectious laughter, yet behind that cheerful expression, he silently carried burdens that often overshadowed his days. Life in the small cottage where Thomas lived with his parents was anything but easy. His father, Mr. Thompson, spent long, exhausting hours working as a carpenter, still struggling to make ends meet. His mother, Mrs. Thompson, stitched tirelessly as a seamstress, but her modest earnings barely covered the family's basic needs. Every morning, Thomas awoke to the soft murmur of his parents' whispered conversations. Their voices were filled with worry, talks of unpaid bills, shrinking food supplies, and an uncertain future. At school, Thomas frequently noticed his classmate Peter being bullied. Peter, who wore thick glasses and walked with a slight limp, became an easy target for unkind children. Thomas's heart ached each time he watched Peter's shoulders sag in defeat. Determined to help, Thomas confronted the bullies, stood between them and Peter, and offered to walk with him to school every day. Peter, touched by the kindness, smiled through his tears and accepted his offer. During their walks, Peter opened up about his struggles. He explained how difficult it was for him to see the blackboard and how other kids mocked him for it. Thomas listened with genuine empathy and realized that everyone carried hidden battles of their own. Thomas, too, faced his own challenges. Though hardworking, he struggled to focus in class because his mind was constantly clouded by worries about his family's financial troubles. Math, especially, left him frustrated. No matter how hard he tried, the concepts just wouldn't make sense. One afternoon, Thomas stayed after school and approached his teacher, Miss Adams, for help. He admitted his fears and frustration. Miss Adams warmly reassured him that asking for help was completely all right and guided him through each problem patiently and step by step. With her support, Thomas began staying after school regularly. Slowly, through determination and Miss Adams's gentle guidance, he started improving, gaining confidence and understanding in math. Yet the weight in his heart remained heavy. His family's financial situation continued to worsen, and Thomas couldn't ignore how exhausted and worried his parents looked. They worked endlessly, but it never seemed to be enough. One night, Thomas overheard his parents whispering anxiously again. They spoke of rising debt, overdue rent, and the frightening possibility of eviction. Tears filled Thomas's eyes as he understood the seriousness of their situation. He wished he could somehow fix everything, but felt powerless. Refusing to give up, Thomas began searching for ways to support his family. He started doing odd jobs around the village, mowing lawns, washing dishes, and running errands. Every coin he earned went straight to his parents, yet it still didn't feel like enough. Then one afternoon, while walking home, Thomas came across a flyer announcing a local talent show. The grand prize was a large sum of money, enough to clear his family's debts and secure their future. Filled with hope, he hurried home to share the news. His parents were hesitant at first, afraid he might be crushed if he didn't win. But Thomas's determination convinced them. He promised he wouldn't give up, no matter the outcome. With their reluctant approval, Thomas threw himself into preparation. He practiced his guitar every spare moment, refining his skills and pouring his emotions into every note. Finally, the night of the talent show arrived. The village hall buzzed with excitement as Thomas stepped onto the stage, his heart racing. As he began strumming his guitar, he poured his entire heart into the performance. Every hope, every fear, every dream. The hall grew silent as his voice filled the room, raw and powerful. When the final note faded, the audience was moved to tears. Applause thundered through the hall as Thomas bowed, pride warming his cheeks. Though Thomas didn't win the grand prize, he gained something even more meaningful. His courage and resilience inspired the entire community. Touched by his story, the villagers came together to raise money for his family, ensuring they had a home and food on the table. Overcome with gratitude, Thomas hugged his parents tightly as tears of joy streamed down his face. He understood then that with love, determination, and the support of those who care, no hardship is too great to overcome. As weeks passed into months, Thomas's family still faced difficulties, but they faced them united, with renewed strength. And Thomas knew that whatever obstacles life placed before him, he would rise above them with a song in his heart and a smile on his face.